What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 1 here, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm bringing you guys another video on Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger. I've tried to do this video at least 4 or 5 times now, but I've been interrupted every single time. So hopefully this time there's no interruptions. So this is on episode 6. This review is going to be fairly short. The episode is called Tankjoh Strikes Back. As we saw in the previous episode, Toa and Sane were poisoned, and what happens is that the doctor, Yui's father, tries to find a way to cure the poison, and he tries to speak to a doctor. The doctor doesn't have an antidote because there's no cure on Earth because the poison doesn't exist on Earth normally. So this is a first for them, so they don't really know what to do. But what happens is that eventually Bomba ends up going after Kuron, tries to battle him and actually gets poisoned as well. And what we end up seeing is that back at the base, Asuna and Yui get poisoned as they're trying to help everyone out. And what happens is that at the same time, Ko and Mel are trying to find the Minosaur to kind of find try to find an antidote. And what happens is that Bomba attempts to destroy Sane because Sane is the source of everything. But what happens is that Toa and Asuna try to, stop Bomba from doing it because Bomba still is resistant to, what they're trying to do. So what happens is that Ko and Mel end up finding the Minosaur. They do manage to fight against it. They each get poisoned, and what happens is that Ko manages to actually rip off one of the teeth from the Minosaur. And what happens is that at that point, the Minosaur retreats. Mel and Ko pass out, and they're actually brought over on Tiramigo to the village elder's location, which he's actually working at a kebab food vendor cart. And what happens is that he had to do that because there was no village and there was nothing else for him to do. So he liked kebabs, and so he decided to be a kebab salesperson. And so what happens is that he manages to, with the tooth, actually create an antidote, and Mel and Ko are healed. Then from there, the two of them bring the antidote back for the rest. And then what happens is we see Tankjoh is trying to unleash his earthquake power. And what happens is that the 5 real soldiers end up coming to the scene. They transform. We see the full morph sequence between all 5 members for once, and then eventually what we do end up seeing is that Tankjoh turns big, so the 5 real soldiers end up summoning the 5 knights and forming the Kishiryu 5 knights combination. And then from there, what we end up seeing is that they manage to easily do away with the Minosaur, and then all that's left is Tankjoh. So they managed to deal with that, but what they have to do with Tankjoh is they have to throw him up into the air and actually destroy him while he's in the air, because if they destroy him while he's on the land, then he'll actually create more damage because he'll affect 10 kilometers of land, including people on the land, and actually kill several people. So they instead throw him up, and they manage to defeat him. From there, the real soldiers are happy, and the thing is that Ko says, well, I'm glad that we're all friends. And the thing is that Bomba's like, I wouldn't say that yet. And what happens is that Toa considers himself friends with them, but Bomba's still kind of like not really that way. And we do see in the preview for next week's episode that the new general will be introduced, and we also see that there'll be some character from another planet that supposedly might be Asuna's sister or another character's sister or something like that. It's interesting. Overall, I did like this episode. I know this review was fairly short just because I was kind of touching upon like the main points. As far as additional points I can bring up, I mean, there was points mentioned about Ko's master again, and how he always would protect everyone and try to make everyone safe and do right by the world. But otherwise, there really wasn't a whole lot that went on in this episode. The main points were the 5 knights and the defeat of Tankjoh, which is important. I mean, it's the first general, and the first general got defeated in the first 6 episodes, which is pretty fast overall. But I'm not complaining either. Again, it will likely get more and more intense as we see more and more difficult villains. We do know for sure that as far as things go, for the next month, there's a couple things that will be introduced in the next month. So the new general, as we know, also they're going to be introducing Ryusoulger Red's second mecha, which is Dime Volcano. So Dime Volcano will be introduced finally, and also Mera Mera mode, which is Ryusoulger Red's first power-up mode. There will be more, actually. Just keep that in mind. That will be the first power-up mode. Aside from the ones that are like the arm transformations, this would be like a real power-up mode that's dedicated to him, at least right now, as far as what we know. But it will be something that will be introduced very soon. And then once the Dime Volcano's mecha is introduced, we will eventually end up seeing the combination for Dime Volcano and Kishiryu. But I don't have much information about that yet as far as when these things will happen. In June, we should be getting Ryusoulger Gold, and we currently what it seems like is that this season is likely going to be a 6-member team. If anyone was curious about how many members are expected for this season, it's likely going to be 6 members because images have already been shown off regarding mechas and anything that's coming out in the next May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, all the way through September. So next 5 months. We already know what most of the mechas are, and there's at least like 5 more mechas that are supposed to be released in that time span, and that's not including anything that comes out in the 4th quarter, which we still don't know anything about yet. But yeah, 6 sounds like where it's going to be right now. If they decide to introduce someone in the 4th quarter, that's cool. I'm not against it, but yeah, I would say that's where we're standing with that. It's smaller than obviously Kyuroouger, which Kyuroouger was a 10-member team, and it was a dinosaur season, and they're going to have a ton of mechas this season, but not many real soldiers. So anyone that was hoping for a large season with tons and tons of members, it doesn't sound like it's happening unless they decide to do something last second, and that could happen. I just don't expect it. But overall, I'm looking forward to seeing where things will go. I'm definitely looking forward to getting confirmation on who Ryusoulger Gold will be, and just also seeing how his story will play into things and just what will happen in the show in general. Otherwise, that's about it for me, guys. For anyone that's curious, though, that's been watching my Power Ranger stuff or Power Rangers Beast Morphers, Power Rangers Beast Morphers has not released a preview yet. That is something very important. Typically, I do a video with this video regarding the preview for Episode 8. Episode 8 is supposed to be releasing this weekend, and there's no preview, and my speculations have to do with it either could be that they're just choosing not to this week, or it could be that they're doing it a little bit later, or it could be the fact that this may be the introduction to the Gold Ranger for Beast Morphers, because that's what people are suspecting, that this will be the episode that will introduce the Gold Ranger finally. That's a very likely possibility, and again, we don't know anything for sure right now, but just keep that in mind that is what people are speculating, and after this week's episode, the hiatus should be starting, it seems like. Anyone that was guessing that maybe they would make the spring half longer, which people were thinking that just because, hey, Hasbro's taking over, maybe they'll do things differently. It's not likely at this point because it's already the 25th actually of April, and the episode's coming out this weekend. So if they were going to announce something for episode 9 or something like that, they would have already announced it by now. You know what I mean? Like, we would have already heard word, episode 9 is going to be called this is the summary, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? We would have known by now. So anyone that was thinking otherwise, I'm pretty much going to tell you right now, it's not happening. Could it happen last second? Maybe, but I'm really, really doubtful. And anyone that's looking to get the Lightning Collection figures, I would definitely recommend trying to look at certain stores. Target will be getting it May 1st. Walmart has it now. You can get it pretty easily there, but people have been buying them up. Lord Zed you can only get one of him because he only comes in one set in packages, so just keep that in mind as well, that if you're looking to get Lord Zed, you have to be very lucky, because typically Lord Zed is bought up instantly because he's so desirable. as far as things go otherwise, if you bought from Hasbro Pulse, which I did, Hasbro Pulse has been the one that's been the least communicative as regarding what they're doing with everything, and people have been having a lot of problems with that. A lot of people are deciding that they probably won't use Hasbro Pulse in the future. I might not, but I might try it again just to see if hopefully by the next time they actually fix their situation so that things are not all messed up like they were this time. And as far as things go, I did manage to speak to Hasbro Pulse, one of the customer service people, because my order got all messed up because I got a new debit card. And what happened is that because of that, my order didn't process properly. So when I contacted them, they actually fixed it, and now I know when my stuff is going to ship and when I should actually have it finally. So I should be getting my stuff next week, by probably Monday or Saturday, I would imagine. Just because I actually live in a town that doesn't have a regular mailbox, so just keep that in mind. If you live in a regular town and it ships ground, then what will happen is it will ship one day, and then the next day you should get it, or the day after. That's what they said to me, but for me, it's gonna take me about 4 days because I have a P.O. box. That's how I get my mail, so it's a little different. So it takes 4 days of travel time because the processing is a lot longer and it creates a lot more problems overall. But that's about it for me, guys. I know this video regarding Kishiryu Ryusoulger was relatively short, but I just wanted to touch upon that and also give you guys some updates on other stuff going on with Power Rangers and Kishiryu Ryusoulger. Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger. So just keep that in mind. As far as the Kamen Rider stuff, really quickly, the only reason why I haven't been reviewing it, not because of anything, against it, but I really haven't been liking it as much, and also I just fell behind. This season has not been my favorite at all, and I'm not saying I won't come back to it. I just don't know how quickly I'm going to do that right now, because I have other things going on, and next week I'll be starting something pretty big for YouTube, so keep that in mind as well. I'll be announcing a pretty big thing, so anyone that's interested in that, stay tuned. I'll be doing a whole video discussing that idea relatively soon. It will be pretty significant, and hopefully you guys will be interested. So please remember to like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, guys, I am Crazy Sam Wrestling 1, and goodbye, guys.